Hello, welcome back to another video. Thank you very much for joining me. So, as the video suggests, or the video title suggests, I have done over 500 miles now in my Altra Lone Peak 4.5s. What do I think? What's my impression of them after 500 miles and how are they holding up? Well, if we have a look at the shoe now, they're obviously looking quite muddy, which is understandable. It is December in the UK, so all the trails are very wet and muddy. But underneath that mud, there's not really any major signs of wear. So the upper is all still intact. There's no holes. There's nothing that I'm particularly concerned about that's going to be wearing out anytime soon. The tongue flap at the front is still intact. I suppose the only area that's kind of got some obvious wear is when you look at the outsole, so the bottom of the shoe, and you can obviously tell there's a little bit of wear there on the lugs on the bottom, which is pretty understandable when you consider that I've done a lot of miles in this shoe, lots of miles on dry trail, on wet trail, and even a few on road as well. So do I like this shoe after 500 miles? Well, if you've been watching this channel for the last 6 months and any running videos that I've done, you'll notice that I'm pretty much wearing these the whole time. I love these things. They're awesome all-rounders. So I can wear them for short runs, long runs, dry runs, wet runs. They really are a kind of all-in-one trail shoe, and that's exactly what I was looking for when I purchased these Altra Lone Peak 4.5s. And the question is, where next with this pair of shoes? I mean, I actually got a notification after, I think it was after 400 kilometers from Strava, telling me that I should consider replacing my running shoes. And if you kind of Google how long should you wear a pair of running shoes for, or when should you replace a pair of running shoes, it says consider replacing them after kind of 400 to 600 miles. So yeah, I'm kind of banging in the middle of that sweet spot at the moment. So should I replace these shoes yet? Well, I'm not going to replace them just yet. I think these have got a couple of hundred more miles at least left in them. But when I do come to replace them, what am I going to replace them with? Another pair of Altra Lone Peak 4.5s? Sure, that would make me happy. But no, I've got another idea, and we're going to talk about that in a minute. So what am I going to replace the Altra Lone Peak 4.5s with when it comes to it? Well, I'm sticking with the Altra Lone Peaks because there's a new model coming out, the Altra Lone Peak 5s, which I'm really excited about. They've made quite a few changes to this shoe that I'm wearing at the moment. Not that I feel like I need any particular changes for this shoe, because I feel really at home in this shoe. And I was kind of thinking maybe I should just get another pair of 4.5s because I know I really like them, get on with them. But you know, I'm gonna have to try out the new technology that the Ultra's bringing out. I trust them as a company. So one of the major changes that they're making between the 4.5 and the 5 is they're bringing in their new Ego midsole into the Lone Peak 5, which is basically a different material that makes the ride of the shoe, so the feel of the shoe, a bit more spongy but still responsive. And apparently it's quite it lasts a long time. Some people's complaints of the last couple of models of the Lone Peaks is that after sort of 40-50 miles the shoe started getting a bit flat and lost that responsiveness. So yeah, we'll see what that's like. They're also making a few changes to the upper, making it a bit more flexible apparently. The outsole is staying the same, fine by me. Works perfectly if you ask me. They're making the drainage a little bit better, so apparently the drainage through the Ego midsole is a bit better. Again, not something I've really found with the Lone Peak 4.5 that I've needed. I found the drainage to be perfectly adequate. But yeah, so several changes. The shoe looks pretty cool. Some good colorways as well to choose from. And what about the release date of the Lone Peak 5? Well, unfortunately, I can't give you any firm dates on that. I can give you my best guesses. So I do know that it's coming out late December in the US, which is great for you guys in the US, but what about us in the UK? We want this shoe, we want it now. But yeah, I don't know a definite date for the UK. I have messaged Altra in the hope that they'll be able to give me a date, but I've had no reply as of yet. I'm guessing they don't really want to commit to a date yet. But looking at past Ultras, so the 4.5, and if I get any of these dates wrong, if you've got any better information, do let me know in the comments below. The 4.5 was released in the US I think early November 2019, then it came out in the UK in February 2020. So what's that, we got it 4 months later. So if it's coming out end of December in the US, maybe we'll get it in April. I think we'll probably get it at the beginning of spring. I think they'll want to get it out at the beginning of spring. So I'm hoping early March we might see the Lone Peak 5 in the UK. Fingers crossed. And I think by then, you know, I would have probably done, I don't know, 700 miles in these shoes. So it'll probably be time to change them up. And I'm really excited to try out a new pair of Ultras. But until that date actually happens, I'm very happy to be putting these Altra Lone Peak 4.5s on my feet every time I go out for a nice trail run. And I'm really thankful for these shoes, helping me through these last several months. You know, it's been a difficult time for the world, and these are just a joy to put on my feet every time I go out the door for that run. So that's going to be it for today's video. Thank you very much for joining me. If you liked the video, if you found it useful, hit the like button, and if you haven't subscribed already, do consider subscribing, because that would be absolutely awesome, and I'll catch you in the next video.